Imagine a country on the brink of collapse, rising debt, inflation, and foreign exchange reserves that were insufficient to meet even 2 weeks' worth of imports. This was India in 1991. But what if I told you that this crisis was the birthplace of a radical transformation that would propel India into the global spotlight? In 1991, India faced a financial meltdown. Unable to pay off its debts, the country had no choice but to turn to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank for a loan. In exchange, India agreed to implement sweeping economic reforms that would change the course of its history. These reforms, known as the New Economic Policy, NEP, were built on 3 key pillars: liberalization, privatization, and globalization. First came liberalization. Prior to 1991, India had a highly regulated economy with significant government control over industries, foreign trade, and investments. The liberalization measures of 1991 aimed to dismantle these restrictions. Industrial licensing was abolished for all but a few sectors, and private enterprises were encouraged to enter new industries. This shift opened up the economy, allowing businesses to grow without cumbersome bureaucratic interference. Next, privatization took center stage. The government began selling off stakes in public sector enterprises, injecting efficiency and capital into once stagnant industries. The disinvestment program included major companies in sectors like steel, oil, and telecommunications. While controversial, this move injected capital into the economy, reduced the fiscal burden on the government, and attracted foreign investments. But the most profound change was globalization. India opened its markets to the world. Import tariffs were reduced, trade barriers lifted, and foreign companies were encouraged to invest in India. The world's eyes were on India, and the country was ready to rise. The IT sector exploded, and India became a hub for outsourcing, attracting global companies looking to tap into its skilled and cost-effective workforce. By the late 2000s, India was no longer a struggling economy. Foreign exchange reserves soared, and the GDP growth rate was consistently high. The country became one of the world's fastest-growing economies. However, the reforms also faced criticism. While the services sector boomed, sectors like agriculture and industry struggled. Agricultural growth stagnated, and Indian industries faced competition from cheaper imports. Privatization also led to concerns over the loss of public assets, and the reduction of subsidies in key sectors like agriculture led to higher costs for farmers. The economic reforms of 1991 were a turning point in India's development. While they brought both opportunities and challenges, they ultimately transformed India into a modern, competitive economy, and they continue to shape the nation's future. Before we leave, here is a question for you. What role did globalization play in India's economic reforms after 1991? A. It isolated India from global markets. B. It increased tariffs and trade restrictions. C. It opened India's markets to foreign investment and trade. D. It led to the nationalization of industries. Share your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching.